Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I want to share with you my loot filter that I made for Path of Exile 2 in the current early access version, and this filter is specifically for Endgame. So I've made like two versions right now. One is my filter basically that I'm using, that I'm sharing with you. The other one is a showcase. I can also attach that if you want to, but this just doesn't hide anything. And for me personally, the reasoning for that, first of all, I like the colorations that I've done based on my Path of Exile 1 loot filter, the mbXfilter. And secondly, there is so much stuff that falls on the floor that you pick up because, you know, it shows it, but you don't want to pick it up because it wastes your time, it wastes your currency, because you're checking blue items for certain modifiers and so on and so forth. Maybe small piles of gold where you see it's there, so you pick it up, but in the end of the day, it was a pile of like 40 gold, so it's a complete waste of time, because once you reach endgame, you're gonna have millions of gold anyways, right? And this filter is made for T15 plus mapping, basically, where you're hiding like a bunch of bases and only show things that are actually necessary, and not basically something like a transmute orb, because in the end of the day, what is a transmute orb? For one exalt, you can buy like 150 transmute orbs, so every time you pick up a transmute orb, it's at 150th of an exalted orb. An exalted orb is already like a very low currency in that regard, right? So don't waste your time picking up stuff that you don't need, which basically costs you time, and therefore mapping time, and therefore even costs you like currency for having a bad loot filter. And this is basically the main inspiration why I sit down like, I don't know, like 10-15 hours and made my loot filter in a notepad. Because this is currently the way it works. There is no filter plate or anything, or website as far as I know, where you can make and adjust your loot filter, so everything has to be handwritten in a notepad. And we're gonna go over all these things so you see what am I hiding and the reasoning why am I hiding it, and how you can adjust it for your personal preference. So let's take a look on how stuff is actually looking like. So let's start with some basic currency. Like these tiers here, the very small ones, they are at some point, so we're gonna first of all do the full showcase so you see how everything is colored, and then we go into endgame where it basically hides the stuff that we don't need to see, right? So let's continue here with the full showcase here. Then we have things like regal orbs, chaos orb, Baal orbs, exalted orbs, and obviously the ting sound, the swing for the big drops, more or less, right? Usually items with beams are worth to pick up, and items without a beam are not worth to pick up, or can be considered picking up. This would be, for example, like a blacksmith whetstone if you want it, but I think in my current version I'm even hiding that. Then we have, for example, some nice colorations for different kind of jewels, so green jewels, blue jewels, red jewels. I know it doesn't make a big difference, because in the end of the day it's a jewel, you're gonna pick it up, because some of these jewels can be worth multiple divines. Most of them are not, obviously, but I kind of like having this like different colorations here, right? Oh, and then we have like another different tier here with, for example, Gemcutter's Prison, or I think a Chance Orb, and something that is a lot worth more than an Exalted Orb, but a lot less than, for example, a Divine Orb, right? Then we have like colorations, for example, white items. Then we go over to we have a blue item somewhere. Here is a blue item, and this would be a yellow item, for example. And then we have uniques. So there's basically the kind of like itemization over here. D&D clear. I'm gonna talk about later what am I actually hiding and why, right? Then we have something like your Jin Barya, your Ultimatum, or your Breach Splinters, your Simulacrum Splinters. We have Catalysts, as well as the artifacts and whatnot, Breach Stones. A bunch of these things are basically styled pretty much the same, just because I think they don't need a specific coloring, like a rune, for example, or an artifact. They're kind of like the same tier, but the thing is, in my endgame filter, I'm hiding runes, for example, just because if you have a bunch of those available, like, they're so cheap, why even pick it up? You don't need that many, right? And then we have, for example, mapping. We have, like, the white tier maps, we have the mid-tier maps with a yellow border, and obviously the red one with a red beam. as well as a red border here, right? Then we have some other fragments, some skill gems, and I think this is pretty much it when it comes to the coloring. And if we now swap to my endgame filter, you're gonna see that a few items are actually hidden. This is basically, I picked items that I would pick up because this is like different coloring. I want to showcase the filter, right? But for example, here on the rare bases, I'm hiding white items, I'm hiding blue items, I'm hiding non-expert items, for example. I'm hiding runes, I'm hiding charms, and so on and so forth. But just to get a feeling on how that looks like. And obviously, I'm going to pick up my stuff because it's my currency and I need currency for freaking obvious reasons, right? We can leave those on the floor, I guess. I don't know. Let's pick it up. It's all monies on the floor. So, how can you even get this filter? So, I don't know how to share stuff these days, but since it's a text file, I actually just put them down on my Discord, so the link is given in the description below. If you are on my Discord here, there is a Path of Exile 2, and here is the loot filter where you can just download it. I'm gonna share both the endgame and the showcase, basically, so the showcase you could use for leveling or something, because it doesn't hide anything, right? And then the changelog is basically, when I update the loot filter, I'm gonna ping people here, and they're gonna see, oh, there's a new version available, and what has changed. For example, I'm having like different colorations of jewels now, and so on and so forth, so I'm gonna update that as well. So just join the Discord, download it, and if you want to stay. If you want to leave, then leave again. Everything is free, so no paywall or anything like that. Future me reporting in, I did 100% not forget to tell you guys how to install a loot filter in this video, right? Alright, so once you are in the Discord, under the loot filter in the Path of Exile 2 register here, you can just download it, and once you have downloaded it, then all you need to do is you press escape, options, under game here. You see there is no loot filter in here, but there is this icon folder, right? So you click on this folder, the direction of the loot filters are coming up from the Path of Exile 2 directory, and yeah, all you need to do is you right-click, copy, right-click, paste, and this is it. Now, when you click on this item filter over here, it should pop up, you save the settings, and this is it. This is how you get the loot filter going. Good. Then I would say let's go over the text file itself, so we can go over what am I hiding, why am I hiding, and what is the reasoning behind all of that, right? So, uniques don't need to hide anything. There is no specific tiering anymore, or at least not at the moment, because for me, I would only show rares that have like a tier 5 mod on it or something, right? But this doesn't work as far as I know, and that's why all the rares get shown, but only the expert bases. Then gold. I'm only showing stacks of gold with 1,000 gold or more. Reasoning for that, as I explained before, if there is like 30 gold, a pillar of 30 gold, I'm like a person, I see this, I run over it, right? But the thing is, when you're hiding gold, and you run over it, you know, you're still gonna pick it up, but you're not gonna see gold that is less than 1,000 gold stacks, so it's considered worth it to pick up like 1,000 or 2, 3, 4,000 gold piles, but not if there is like 20 gold on the floor, right? When it comes to skill gems, I'm basically on the T15, 16 maps, I'm hiding every normal skill gem is below 19, and I'm hiding all spirit gems that are below 18, and I'm hiding all the support gems. Let me actually go back to my hideout so I can show you guys what it looks like if you're playing quite a bit like I do, but not insanely much, right? You're gonna see that I have a shit ton of gems laying around for everything, and the thing with the support gems, a level 3 support gem includes a level 1 and level 2, so there is no point for me to picking up like a level 1 support gem, because I can just use the level 3 gems on my level 1 character as well. But since I have so many, and I'm not planning to, I don't know, change too much in my gear here, that's why I'm just straight up hiding it. If you want to show something, you just replace the hide into show, save it, and then make sure to basically like reload the filter, and then it gets shown, and that's pretty much it. Then next up we have waystones. I am usually hiding all waystones below 13. Reason for that is if I'm farming T15 maps, like if I find a T7 map, what do I need a T7 map for? I'm not gonna run it, and converting it up takes way too long. And what I mean with converting up, for example, let me actually just throw everything into here real quick. so we get some space. So, I don't know if I have enough tier 13. So what I'm doing, I'm picking up T13 plus because after a day of mapping or when I need maps, I take my 13s and reforge them into 14, turn the 14 into 15, and this is how I basically sustain pretty much all of my maps that I'm rolling and then volleying and so on and so forth. So I'm fine with upgrading T13s and up, but I'm not gonna need like 100 T10 maps or something to get one T15, so that's like completely pointless. That's why I'm hiding everything that is lower 13. I'm hiding all the mid-tier maps, I'm hiding all the low-tier maps. Then when it comes to currency, you saw the tiering with S tier, Mirror, Divine Orb, Perfect Jeweler Orbs, and so on and so forth, the Tink Sound. Then we have the higher value currency, and then we have the B tier, which is Exalted Orbs, Chaos Orb, Orb of Alchemy, Val Orbs, and so on and so forth. They are just shown normally, but I'm hiding Transmute, Augments, Artificial Shard, Transmute Shards, Regal Shards, like all of this useless little currency that nobody needs, because reality, right? I could pick up, or let's see, let's check how much, for example, Transmute is, right? So I want to have Transmutes and I'm spending Exalts, 1 for 75. That means I need to pick up 75 Transmutes or I pick up 1 Exalt. And if I would ever run out of Transmutes, which never happened yet, but if I would ever run out, I just spend 5 Exalts and I have a couple of hundreds Transmutes again, and that's about it. I don't want to pick up all these like trash currency that nobody needs, right? Because once you run T15 maps, you're gonna pick up like 5-6 Exalted Orbs every single map, so why do the work and pick up this low shit value, right? Same with like Armor Scrap, Whetstones, Wisdom Scrolls. Like, why would you pick up a Wisdom Scroll if you can just buy it at the vendor for 25 gold a piece, right? So if I ever run out of Wisdom Scrolls, I just buy a few, right? I have millions of gold, like, why do I care? Like, less clicking means less time spent in the map, equals more maps per hour, equals more currency. Then we have artifact, coinage, distilled, and omens, everything colored right here, and I'm hiding catalysts. The reason why I'm hiding catalysts is pretty much the same reasoning as the transmute shards. If we just check, for example, there are some that are worth a little bit more, but usually they're all less worth than a divine, right? Like an exalted orb, and this is like my base value. So if I pick the flash catalyst, I get 18 flash catalysts for 1 exalt. As I said, I pick up 4 or 5 exalts per map or even more, but I need to pick up 18 catalysts to get the same result, right? And there's other catalysts that are like 1 to 100 or something, right? So I would need to pick up so many freaking more to actually get my value out of it. But this is up for debate. Basically, you can just say show. If you say, hey, I want to have my catalyst shown, I'm pretty much probably going to change it back to show. Then fragments, we have all the splinters shown, all the other stuff. Pinnacle keys, we have Sanctum, the gold key, silver key, and bronze key, and relics all shown. Then essences, obviously we show that as well because they can sell quite nicely in bulk. Then I have a tab here with unknown currency, and this is basically if I would ever have a currency in my filter that I have not assigned yet, because I think I assigned everything, it would show up blue, and blue is something that is very rare in my filter because I'm hiding all the magic items. So if I see a blue item with a border and a beam, I'm like, wait a second, this is missing in my filter, and this is then what I would update. But this barely ever happens. So far, the last time this happened was, I think, with Sanctum keys. Then let's go equipment. So I'm showing all the expert bases, and yes, we can have a debate now of what if there is an advanced item that is tier 3. Would you pick it up? Yes, I would, technically, to check, because it could be a higher tier role, but it's an advanced base, it's not an expert base, so it's by default kind of like worse, but also good. But in the end of the day, I don't want to identify 20-30 rares per map because it costs a lot of time. So I'm sticking with expert bases, and I only pick up the expert bases that are actually tier 5 or something, and rings, amulets, and those kind of things. So I'm hiding all the other stuff. Then I'm hiding all the magic stuff, and I hide all the normal stuff besides breach rings and stellar amulets. Stellar amulets, obviously, for the chance orbs you could put in here. For example, a sapphire ring, because this could be dream fragments. You can go heavy belt if you want to show the white heavy belt, so you can chance them into a headhunter or things like that, right? I'm sticking to my stellar amulets and the breach ring. You can just assign this or adjust this however you want. Good. Jewels, as I said, we have ruby, sapphire, and emerald separately colored, but I'm picking up all of them. And then I'm hiding runes and I'm hiding charms. And this is basically the same situation here, right? Runes, you barely ever need runes. Like, you usually have like these soul cores that are more use case than runes, but when you play since day one, you have like probably, I don't know how many runes of those, so if you ever need 12 fire resistance, you're gonna have a bunch of those runes, and I think you can super cheap buy them, so that's why I'm like, why do I need to pick this up? I'm never gonna use that anyways, neither do I sell it, because they are not worth a lot. Okay, then let's quickly go over what does these lines basically mean. So, show is, as I said, you can show or hide it, then you can have like a separate item level, and this is like the coloring, text color, border color, and background color, and this is like a little trick that I could show you. If I'm opening Filterblade, Filterblade is a website made for PoE 1, and so here is game PoE 1, so I'm pretty sure that Neversink is currently working on for PoE 2, but we don't have that yet. But this is basically my mbXfilter. I've done over like 3.3 thousand changes to the existing Neversink filter, but what I can do here is apply colorings, right? If I say, hey, I want to have like more of a green style over here, and maybe like a green border over here, and then some green, dark green background. And this is basically the coloring. So I designed or styled the items in here, and then I just take this code over here and I show you how it looks like. This is basically the code that you get. These are the three numbers. 27, 230, and 37 are these three numbers. The only difference here on border is if I delete the 0 over here, now it shows a border, and with a 0 here, it does not show a border, right? But it's the same with like background color and so on and so forth, and having no border is basically setting the alpha to 0, and this is why it doesn't have a border, and I personally felt like that no borders just have a very a way cleaner style. And then we have those three lines: play alert sound, the play effect, and the minimap icon. So the play alert sound is basically also can be figured out over here. You have here the sound. There is like a bunch of different sounds you could pick. So 6 would be the tink sound. So if I would say play alert 6, then it would now tink the same uncut skill gem. 300 is basically the volume over here that you can adjust. Then you have the play effect is the beam that items can have. And here the minimap icon, upside down house. This is basically the icon over here that you can have here, right? So you can color it like here, cyan color, or make it orange, or make it whatever color you want. And then you also have the beam somewhere, which is basically the minimap icon, is like a circle, a diamond, a hexagon, square, and I have here the upside down house, which is basically this one over here. It's just like how this item will get shown on your minimap, and if you put a hashtag in front of it, it's inactive, okay? So I'm having those blocks. If I say, hey, I really want to have my uncut skill gems to have like a beam, then I just delete the hashtag, and if you have the hashtag in, now this line is not working, okay? So that's why I'm like playing around where I say like, hey, why does a breach splinter have a purple beam? If I do a breach and I get like 30 splinters, my entire screen is full of beams, right? But I still want to see the icons on the minimap, so I know, oh, up there where I like out of my screen, I know there is splinters over here, right? So if I go over to splinter, what I have here is we have the play, it does a sound when it drops, and it shows me the minimap icon, but there is no beam. So it would be the same if I say here, play effect, and then we probably say purple because all my fragments are purple, and then I would delete the hashtag, and now it would basically have a beam. But as I said, I'm not doing that. Good. Then invitations, we've went over that. So this is basically just shows you how you can change all the stuff yourself, right? And there is a trick. If you, for example, take here any item and Control C and then just put it somewhere here, then you see item class, stackable currency. So it's a currency, that's the name of it. And so on and so forth. So this is how you can sometimes figure out what the class is or what the base type basically means, because as something, if something is an arrow over here, if there is something, let's say I have a typo over here and I save it, then you're going to see that the filter will say, oh, failed to load item reason line 300, right? So I can go line 300 and I have an arrow over here, right? And if everything works properly, it says item filter loaded successfully, and this is how you know everything is fine. And you cannot really fuck it up too much, because if you do something like that, either it doesn't load or all the formatting is gone all of a sudden, right? So you know, wait a second, the last thing that I've done didn't work out properly, so whatever I just did, I should probably revert that change. But yeah, guys, this is my filter. This is gonna get permanently updated because this is the filter that I'm using myself. The download links are in the Discord. And in the description below, obviously linked, and yeah, the changelog and everything. And if you have some better ideas or something where we could like make this filter better, then let me know. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying this loot filter and it brings you some better currency for not wasting time, and see you in the next video.